Going to be speaking about narcissists from a more compassionate perspective. You see, whenever you look on YouTube and listen to what people say about narcissists, they'll all tell you that they're evil. And when people like the very renowned writer C.S. Lewis writes that narcissists are demons, well, for a Christian, that is a very discompassionate perspective, isn't it? In C.S. Lewis's latter years, he wrote many books about the nature of God, and he was 1000% a convert. And so if he was a Christian, then you would have thought that he would have been able to find within his heart some compassion for the narcissist. And if he wasn't much of a psychologist himself, psychoanalyst, then you would have thought that he would have had the funds and the people around him, someone he could consult who was a psychologist or a psychoanalyst, to ask them what their professional opinion was of a narcissist. Now, I am none of those things professionally. I don't own a certificate from any institution. But it seems to me that C.S. Lewis, as great and as renowned as he was, he never actually, to my knowledge, conceded or confronted or consulted the facet of the narcissist, which was in actual fact the victim themselves. Because if we consider that narcissists are demons, are we suggesting that they are born demonic? Who has ever been born demonic? I mean, Damien. But you know, in real terms, who could we really say was born demonic? I mean, even people like Ted Bundy and Jeffrey Dahmer, you know, serial killers, and, you know, our mate Adolf. When you look at their life, you see what perverted their thoughts. You see what life instances struck scars upon their souls. And so then you can see the outcome over time. And any of you that has watched me throughout the years, you will remember that there was a much softer disposition in the early days, when I was much more less afflicted with life, much more forgiving, much more compassionate. Now it appears that in lots of respects I've become as tough as an old boot, because the vast majority of people in my life, I would say all people in my life, ultimately will always turncoat on you. They will always do you wrong. They will always change their opinions and way they feel about you at some stage, because that's the nature of the human being. And those that don't change their opinions, is that because neither of the parties change an iota? Is it because they're both automaton and they don't ever do anything out of what they do every single day to affect anyone in a you know, serious way? But if you are a real conscious, soulful, spirited human being, then you're going to fluctuate in life and you're going to do things, and then people are going to go, oh, he's done this, oh, I don't like that, So what I do now in my life, people, I treat everybody as if I've already upset them. So I intend to upset people from the very beginning, to give you the, oh, who's this, oh, who's that, oh, he's a narcissist, oh, he's an idiot, oh, he thinks he's so great. That's it, exactly. Why? Because it can't go downhill from there on, can it? It can only get better. But if you come onto my channel thinking, oh, this Awake and Brave guy is so great, well, in no time at all you go, oh, How many times have I had that? I've become sick to the fucking teeth of having that shit. So I say a lot of things on this channel. A lot of things a lot of people don't want to hear. So I convey to you in an instant, I'm not your fucking friend. I don't give a fuck about you. I'm just doing my fucking job. I'm told to do it by the fucking cosmos, right? And I'm pretty sure if I knew any of you and I spent any real time with you, then we'd both become very sick of each other very, very quickly. So let's just start how I mean to finish, yeah? I've become sick of you and you're sick of me. Great. Now then, if you've got the constitution to stick around, then you might fucking learn something. It's my job to teach you, to impart to you things that I know, things that the cosmos has delivered to me over the years. So, that's where we are, people. That's where we are. But in relation to the narcissist, the one I was involved with, on many levels, was enormously charismatic and a lot of fun to engage with. And albeit the vast majority of stuff that she did was all a part of her program, love bombing, she was very believable. And I wanted to believe it. I wanted to believe that someone really found me fascinating and enthralling and exciting and intelligent and funny and all those things. She gave all that to me. But then when you realise that that's what they call love bombing, and none of it was ever real, it never came from a soul, people. It came from a program. It came from a contrivance. It came from a design. And I've been around the world in many, many very dangerous and third world countries. And I've learned that people are very, very clever in these countries. And when I went there, I didn't give them the due respect. I thought because I came from a first world country, I must be much more clever than they. I was very wrong. I was very, very naive in terms of the Eastern European countries like Bulgaria, those sort of places, which grew up hard. They grew up hard, people, in communism. Like in Africa, they grew up hard. They learn a thing or two. And they know how to take advantage of you. And they all play the game. How they're very, very nice and they're all your friend and they all love you. But they're just waiting and waiting and waiting for the day when they can take you for everything. And they'll murder you in an alley to do it. I had a relationship with many, many pay girls whilst I was in Bulgaria, and one of them told me, "You're so stupid, you are." And I'm like, "Why is that?" And she says, "Because you think what people are telling you is real. And you think that this guy is a nice guy. And you tell me, oh, he's a nice guy. Or the Bulgarian people are nice people. Every single one of them is just waiting for the day that they're going to fuck you up." That's what she told me. She was 18, people. She was 18 years old. Or maybe she was 20 at the time. She told me she started prostitution when she was 18. And during, at about each year, she would have sex about 2,000 times. So she's no stranger to human nature. And these people grow up very, very quickly. And that's what she told me. She told me I'm so stupid because I was thinking people are fundamentally nice. When she told me there wasn't a single fucking Bulgarian that is going to be being nice to you because they're nice. They're being nice to you because you come from a rich country, you've evidently got money, and they want a piece of it. That's the only fucking reason. And she says, "You know what? When I saw you in the gym, I thought to myself, I'm going to talk to him because probably, doubtless he's got money and he'll probably be able to give me a job." She told me straight. She came for me for the money, which of course I was paying her. And then, maybe I could give her a job and take her out of her, prostitution, which she couldn't stand. But she couldn't, find anything else which was going to pay remotely as good. So, getting back to the narcissist, the one I was involved with was an enormous amount of fun for a long time. But during that period, she showed her true colours, and it was very, very traumatic. Very traumatic, people. When you have been beguiled thinking that someone loves you and is fascinated with you and enthralled with you and all that, when they can say things and do things to you which are completely the obverse, when you know that that is abject evil, it shakes you to your fucking core. And I was shook to my core. And I was reeled in hook, line and sinker. And there's such a massive story to tell about that, from the beginning to the end, but it's going to necessitate a book, probably in excess of the thickness of the book I've already written. It's a massive psychological, emotional journey. And so, but when I was communicating with this person, I realised where her narcissism stemmed from. And it was an incident when she was about 10 years old, whereby she flipped. She flipped because she was emotionally stricken. She was absolutely devastated emotionally that somebody could have done that to her. And I won't speak of what it was here. And it's not so terrible that I couldn't speak about it anyway, but I will in the book. But what she told me happened to her, that changed her life. And I could see from that incident that she became somebody else. She created an alter ego from that point forward, which she reckoned that was required to detach herself from the pain and the sadness of the person that she was, because she didn't evidently deem that she could recover from that. So she became somebody else. And this somebody else was the high flyer, the funny person, the comedian, you know, the one that everybody loves, the entertainer, you know, the person that everyone would say, that's a great person. She became that. She became that alter ego. And due to how she looked and presented herself, she could get away with it even more. And she was gifted as a comedian, and so she became very good at lots of these things. And upon her journey, you know, she's filtered out the ones that she wanted to pass on her affliction to. It's some sort of twisted, devilish evil that they will go to any lengths, and it will take them years and years and years to reel you in, to love bomb you, with the sole intention of destroying your soul, like their soul was destroyed. And it's kind of like an unfathomable human trait. I haven't managed to get to the bottom of it because I haven't known enough of them. I haven't studied it really that long and hard like a professional would, who is only dealing with narcissistic personality disordered people. But, you know, we've all seen the movies, and we've all heard the stories. And for those of you that want to do the research, then there's many, many very good people speaking about them. And to be quite frank, I've never found anyone speaking about a narcissist which is an idiot. They all are very educated. There's lots of very, very professional people that have had personal experiences of just being compelled to tell the world about it because it's shot them to their fucking core and they just want to warn other people. But the thing is about these narcissists, you can't warn anybody against them. You have to experience them. Because their narcissism is deeply embedded into your psyche over a long period of time. It isn't something that comes about in weeks, months, or even, let's say, a year. It takes longer. It takes longer before they know they've really got you. And then when they've really got you, that's when you're going to hurt the most. And that's when they do what they do. But to look at these people, these things, I can't say in good conscience that there's a person there. like a human. There's a person, a persona. There's a persona, like Greek mythology. You know, you put the mask on. Oh yeah, they wear masks. But deep down, there was a human being there. There was a soul, and it pertained to a 10-year-old girl instead of a 50-year-old woman. And that 10-year-old girl was still 10 years old. And I saw that 10-year-old girl, people. On one fleeting occasion, I saw that 10-year-old girl within her. I saw through the blank, dead stare of her eyes. I saw a glimmer of this imprisoned young girl that never got to live a life. And that's where the resentment is born out of. Because that beautiful young girl, which just never managed to bloom into a full blossoming woman, is still imprisoned, still locked away, crying and wailing, where the usurper, the alter personality, keeps them locked in. Whether like an imprisoner, like a protective measure, whatever it is, keep them buried. Don't talk about them. Bury. Just pretend, ha, deflect, all through your life. Don't ever let anybody in. And the reason why they have this dead stare that you read about, they'll all tell you about. They don't have, you can't see into their soul, people, when you look into their eyes. I tried it. I tried to get close to her. Like, she hated that. She hated it when I tried to look into her eyes. She would do anything to get the fuck out of the way. But when she was really angry or very, very drunk, she'd just stare with a fucking evil face. And her eyes would be, how dare you look into my soul? How dare you try to look into my soul? That's what it'd be, and it'd be frightening. It was a fucking frightening experience to see that evil, to see that there's no way you were ever going to penetrate. But I did penetrate. My spirit, my soul, which is older and more learned than hers, I could penetrate her defences, and I saw it. Fleetingly. That's all I needed to do. I saw it for a few fleeting seconds, and I told her. I said, I just looked into your soul. I saw that imprisoned young girl. I saw how sad she is. And I know that you'll never let her out. And then she jumped out of bed. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Massively defensive. Just wanting to start an incredibly ridiculous argument because she felt vulnerable. It's the last thing you can ever do to a narcissist, make them feel vulnerable, because you will suffer all of their wrath. So what I'm going to be speaking about in my book in relation to narcissism, I'm not going to be telling names. I'm not going to be intending to ruin anyone's life. I'm not going to be intending to belittle anybody. There's a story to be told about the affliction that some human beings can have. And it is an affliction. And when certain souls are devastated in a particular way, then it could be that demons see an opportunity to step in, or it could be that the ego is so compromised, so devastated that they're just going to reinvent themselves. And, you know, it's difficult to know which is which, people, because it's a very metaphysical thing. It's a very psychological thing. But one thing's for sure, there is a usurper of the soul, and that soul, that young soul, will never get to see the light of day. They will never get to grow, they'll never get to evolve, they will always stay at that age. And the ego will continue to grow like an adult and pretend it's an adult and all that rest of it. They're very good at pretending and manufacturing and all that sort of thing. But ultimately, people, I don't know whether their soul was a black one. That's what I'm saying. I can't judge to that degree. We would all like to suggest that they're all perfect souls, and coming to earth, some of us get corrupted. It would be very, very hard for us to take that souls, evil souls, purposely come to earth. And yet you can read about this all day long, people, within ancient scripture, mythology, and people that have studied these things. They'll all tell you, when the earth was created, it was created primarily with evil. And then the evil was usurped, or at least offset to a degree. But the evil is so powerful that it can never be eradicated. That's what mythology tells you. That's what people discern about the human being. It doesn't matter how kind and nice you can be to a human being. You will never eradicate the evil potential from them, because the evil potential runs through the heart of every man. Alexander Solzhenitsyn. It's there. It has to be there. It has to be here, because the cosmos is constructed out of polarities. It can't be all love, because if it was all love, then there wouldn't be anything, because there's nothing to compare it against, you see. So what is love if you can't compare it against evil? And if there's no evil, then there can't be love, because there's no necessity for love. So there wouldn't be anything. You can't label anything if there isn't the polar opposite, people. You can only label anything if there's a polar opposite. So therefore evil has to exist. And that's why all mythology has created evil in some shape or form. The serpent, or the fucking dragon, or, fucking gods battling it out in the fucking clouds. Any of these things. They're all expressions of human consciousness, people. And human consciousness is cosmic consciousness. And it's vast, it's massive, and it's incomprehensible. But I wanted to level that one with you, so you know where I'm coming from. I don't have a vindictive streak, I don't have a vendetta, I'm not about retribution, revenge, nothing of the sort. I have a deep level of compassion for this particular person, how she's turned out. It's very, very unfortunate, primarily for her, because she never got to experience what it was like to be a real human being. Even though many people, if they spoke to her, watched her, knew her, would say, oh, this person, she knows all about this and she knows all about that. She knows how to act. And to look across the world and see how people act also, well, that's a piece of piss for them, because they're acting all the time. They know. It's like, being a member of an acting fraternity, and you go out with actors. Well, you're going to see actors because you are one. And so, of course, you're going to be able to talk about them and tell people what they're doing, and then people go, oh, how insightful you are. It's like someone, if they're speaking about the deepest levels of evil. How do they know that? Unless they are it. You see? I can only speak about the level of evil which I've encountered in my life. And of course, evil's evil. It's terrifying. And I don't know anyone in their right mind would seek that out. People like Aleister Crowley or whatever, who would, be inviting, these entities. I can't think why anybody would want to do that. But, so, that's from the heart. That's from the heart, people. To let you know that I'm not headhunting here. I'm speaking about my experience. And what I'm going to be telling you is my experience. And this is why I've told you that I won't hear of anybody putting that name on this channel. Because it's not about that name. It's about my experience. And I'm conveying my experience so you can learn from my experience, and maybe you'll gain some knowledge or some insight or some wisdom from it. And at the very least, you'll have knowledge. I'm not saying that you'll be able to protect yourself from a narcissist, because I don't believe you will. But at least when it's happening, you'll be aware of it. It's like I was, when it was happening, I was aware of it. I wasn't stupid, people. I've been studying psychology for many, many years. I've been around. And from the beginning of our relationship, when we used to consider, because she told me that we were twin flames, because that's the tactic that they use. When you're all out of sorts and all the fucking crazy shit they're going to throw at you, they tell you it's a twin flame, and it's always difficult being a twin flame, you know. And you go, oh great, you feel really good that you found your twin flame, that, you know, twin flames are one soul, and they decided to split into two and come to Earth, and then after years and years and years to find each other. Oh, it's a wonderful thing, but it can be very tumultuous. Oh, you're telling me? But they use that, guys, to poison your mind so you think along those benevolent lines. But I wasn't that stupid. I bought it for a while, and then when you go online and you start to look into twin flames, you're always going to get people which say, by the way, those of you that are looking at twin flames, there's something you need to be aware of. Many, many narcissists come under the guise of your twin flame. And if you think you've got a twin flame at the moment in time, then watch this video. And that's it. It all starts from there. Then you go down the narcissist wormhole and you go, oh my God, everything these people are speaking about, that's what she or he's been doing to me. And then you go, there ain't no fucking twin flame. That's bullshit. This narcissist thing, however, is fucking real. And so, but because of my interest in psychology, in my philosophy, and my spirituality, and the way I look at the world, I just wanted to find out. I just really, really, really wanted to find out. Even though I knew, even though my souls, my spirits, every single one of them was telling me, don't go. Don't go. You know it's a road to hell, right? And I'm like, I've just got to fucking find out. It was the ego. The ego took me there. The soul and the spirit tried everything to prevent me. And even the night before I left, when my bag was already packed, I couldn't barely sleep a wink, and everything, my soul and my spirit was telling me, just fucking unpack your bag, man. Just unpack your bag and tell her you ain't coming. I didn't. I went, I'll never never get rid of her. I'll never get shot of her. I will never be able to extricate her from my life. She's too powerful an entity. I've tried. Couldn't do it. So I thought, I've got to go over there and find out. I went, and by the hand of God, I was taken out of it. And now it's over. Now I'm emancipated. And now I can speak about it without feeling the pain or the suffering or the trauma. And I thank the cosmos, my higher self, God, whatever, for the experience that I was given and for my emancipation out of the clutches of evil.